Ever notice how the best salespeople, the ones who consistently crush their targets, they seem to have these kind of like almost secret habits?
Yeah, it's not just about talent, right? It's definitely more about, I think it's about doing the right things consistently, day after day. Makes a huge difference.
Totally. So today we're diving deep into those habits. We're going to use the Sales Experts blog, 7 things top sales performers do.
Sounds good.
Perfect for anyone leading a sales team, or maybe you're hiring, new talent, or just trying to level up your own sales game.
For sure. I mean, this is all about understanding, right, what drives that top performance. So you can kind of replicate it, with your team or even for yourself.
Absolutely. So let's jump right in. The sales experts, they start by highlighting how important it is to prioritize and plan.
Right.
They actually talk about a tool called the Eisenhower box. Have you heard of that?
I have, yeah.
So it's basically, it helps you categorize tasks. Like, is it urgent? Is it important?
Yeah, it's a really simple but powerful framework, to make sure that you're spending your time on the right things.
Right.
Those high impact activities, the things that actually move the needle.
The things that actually bring in the revenue.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up, in the whirlwind of the day-to-day.
Yeah.
But top performers, they're really laser focused on those activities that actually matter.
Yeah. They're not just busy, they're productive. And that's a really important distinction, I think, for sales success.
Huge.
Yeah.
Now, moving beyond just kind of planning and prioritizing your own time, the sales experts also talk about how important it is to cultivate customer relationships. So it's not just about closing deals. It's about building those genuine long-term relationships.
It's about going deeper than just the transaction.
Right.
Understanding their needs, providing value.
Becoming a trusted advisor.
Exactly. Being someone they can rely on, someone they can trust.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it kind of moves beyond that, the traditional transactional approach to sales.
Right.
Where it's just like sign on the dotted line and we're good to go. It's more about, building that trust and rapport.
For sure. And that trust, that's what leads to repeat business, right? Referrals.
That's it.
And ultimately, I think that's how you create sustainable sales success.
Totally. The sales experts also talk about the need to stay informed. So you got to be on top of industry trends, product updates, even your competitors' moves.
Yeah, if you're not constantly learning and evolving, I mean, you risk falling behind, right? So the most successful salespeople, they're always kind of expanding their knowledge base. They're becoming those valuable resources for their clients.
Yeah. So they're not just selling, they're actually educating and adding value through their insight.
Exactly. They're becoming indispensable to their clients. And that strengthens those relationships and builds that long-term loyalty that we were just talking about.
I like that. Now, the next habit the sales experts highlight is active listening, which I think is so crucial in sales.
Absolutely. It's really about understanding your client's needs, their challenges, not just waiting for your turn to speak. Top performers, they ask insightful questions, they listen intently, and then they use that information to tailor their approach.
They're having a genuine conversation,
Right.
trying to understand the client's perspective instead of just like, throwing a canned pitch at them.
Totally. And that shift from selling at someone to solving with them, I think that's what makes all the difference.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of these habits are kind of interconnected, right? You can't really build those strong customer relationships without active listening. And you can't effectively prioritize your time without a clear understanding of, your client's needs and their goals.
You're exactly right. These habits, they work together to create that foundation for sales success. They're not just isolated tactics. They're part of a more holistic approach to selling.
I like that.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings us to the next habit that the sales experts highlight, which is setting and reviewing goals. Seems pretty straightforward, but they emphasize that top performers take this a step further.
Yeah. It's not just about setting goals at the beginning of the year or the quarter, right? It's about consistently reviewing your progress, holding yourself accountable, and making those adjustments as needed. Top performers, they track their metrics daily. They're making sure they're on track to hit their targets.
It's like having that feedback loop built in.
Right.
So they can stay focused and motivated throughout the entire sales cycle.
Yeah. And this habit of constant evaluation, that's what allows them to quickly identify areas for improvement and then course correct as needed.
So they're not afraid to like really look at their own performance and be like,
Mm.
okay, I need to tweak this or I need to change this.
Exactly. They're willing to adapt,
Yeah.
And that's so crucial in sales because things are constantly changing. I mean, sales can be tough, right? You're going to face rejection. It's a part of the game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But the sales experts point out that top performers, they kind of embrace it.
Yeah, I've heard that before. That whole idea of like, failing forward or seeing no as the stepping stone to yes,
Yeah.
but easier said than done, I
Oh,
think.
it is. It is. It's definitely a mindset shift. But top performers, I think they understand that rejection, it's not personal, right? It's feedback. Each no, it gives you information that can help you refine your pitch, understand your market better, and ultimately, close more deals.
So you're basically turning those setbacks into learning opportunities.
Exactly. They're constantly analyzing those no's. They're looking for patterns, for insights,
Yeah.
that can help them do better next time.
Hmm. Now that kind of brings us to the final habit that the sales experts highlight, which is prioritizing self-care.
Right.
This one might seem a little unexpected, maybe in a conversation about sales performance, but they make a really good case for why it matters.
Yeah, you can't perform at your best if you're running on empty, right? So top performers, they get this. They understand that that to be successful consistently, you have to take care of yourself. Physically, mentally.
It's like that saying about putting on your own oxygen mask first
Right.
before you can help anyone else.
That's a good analogy, yeah.
You got to take care of yourself.
Exactly. If you're burned out, if you're stressed, if you're neglecting your own needs, I mean, it's going to impact everything, right? Your interactions, your ability to think clearly.
So what does self-care actually look like for someone in sales? Is it like, meditation retreats and spa days or
It really depends on the person, right? I mean, for some people, it might be exercise or eating healthy. For others, it might be setting boundaries,
Sure.
protecting their time or spending time with family and friends, or maybe picking up a hobby or something.
Yeah, so it's really about recognizing that taking care of yourself it's not selfish.
Right.
It's essential if you want to be successful in the long run.
Absolutely. And it sets a good example for your team, too, right? If they see you as a leader, prioritizing these things, I mean, it creates a culture where well-being is valued.
Totally. So we've covered a lot here. The sales experts, they've laid out these 7 habits that can really have a big impact, from prioritizing to embracing rejection, to self-care. It's really like a roadmap.
Yeah.
For anyone who wants to get better at sales.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, out of all of these habits, like what really stood out to you?
I think what I find most interesting is how much they emphasize the holistic side of sales success, right? It's not just about closing techniques or hitting your numbers.
Right.
It's about developing that mindset of always learning, building those relationships like we talked about, taking care of yourself.
It's more than just a job.
Exactly. It's a profession.
It's something that you really need to work at, to truly be great at it.
Yeah. And that's what makes it so challenging and so rewarding. You're always learning, you're always adapting, you're always pushing yourself to get better.
So how can we take what we've learned from the sales experts, right? And turn it into action? How can we actually start using these habits in a way that really makes a difference?
I think the key is to start small and be consistent. You don't have to change everything overnight.
Right.
Pick one habit, right?
Right.
That you think will make the biggest impact. And then just focus on making it part of your routine.
So, for example, if you're someone who struggles with time management, maybe it's using that Eisenhower box every morning,
Right.
Or if you're feeling burned out, maybe it's blocking out 30 minutes every day for exercise or just something relaxing.
Exactly. And remember, it's a journey. There are going to be bumps along the way.
Oh yeah.
But the important thing is to stick with it. Keep learning and celebrate those small wins along the way.
And don't be afraid to ask for help, whether it's from colleagues or mentors,
Right.
or even the sales experts themselves, right?
Yeah.
They have tons of resources that can help you on your journey.
Now, as we're wrapping up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a thought.
What if you picked just one of these habits?
Yeah.
Right. And you started doing it tomorrow. Like, what do you think would have the biggest impact, and what's that first step going to look like?
Well, maybe it's using that Eisenhower box, right? Like we were saying, just taking 15 minutes every morning to plan your day, or maybe it's reaching out to a past client
Mm,
just to see how they're doing, keeping that relationship going.
right,
Or
right.
maybe it's listening to an industry podcast, once a week, just to stay on top of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, yeah. It's about like figuring out where you need the most help
Right.
and then just taking that first step, even if it's small.
Exactly. And those small actions, if you do them consistently, that's how you get big results,
They
right?
add up over time.
Over time, yeah.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into these 7 habits from the sales experts,
Hmm.
it's clear that sales success, it's not about, luck or some magic formula.
Right.
It's about those habits. It's about the mindset, and it's about always learning and growing.
And the best part is that anyone can do this, right? I mean, whether you've been in sales for years or you're just getting started, you can use these strategies and really see a difference in your performance.
If you're looking for more info, I definitely recommend checking out these sales experts. They've got a ton of resources for sales
I
professionals
really do.
at all levels. So
They're real. So there you have it. 7 habits that can really take your sales game to the next level. Now it's up to you to take that first step.
and start building those habits. That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.